Okay, hey everybody, it's Shane. I'm back. This is the 737-800 V2 by Level Up, and we got some interesting stuff to look at tonight. So first of all, I want to draw your attention to this beautiful paint job, livery, whatever you want to call it. This was just released today by somebody on my, well, not just my Discord, on a lot of Discords. Old Fox. Fox, and she made this, and it's so great to have this back because for a while I was basically unable to fly the Boeing convertible freighter flights for UPS without this. But now we got it back. So I think it's Sun Country, but you can substitute in for a Giant. Nobody's going to know the difference. So it looks beautiful. Thank you so much, Fox, for making that for us. Now, the next thing here that is pretty interesting, but I'm honestly not really seeing any noticeable improvement here, is supposedly DLSS works for X-Plane. So, thanks, Fox. I love it. So this is what somebody on my Discord, old Tweedle, he told me that if you use the NVIDIA app and you go over to what is it? Graphics. You go to X-Plane. You can turn on DLSS override mode. And this is how I have it set up. Preset M, recommended, and use 3D app setting. Maybe I hit recommended. I don't know. Either way, it's supposed to improve your frame rate and like make the game scroll better or pan better. But honestly, I don't know if I'm noticing a huge difference here. Maybe a little bit. But we'll test it out some more as we start taxiing. Because right now, where we're at on the airport, there's not a lot of stuff to look at, so we'll see if this is a thing or not. I was under the impression that DLSS did not work in any kind of way for X-Plane, but if that's not the case, then by all means, let's try it out. Full disclosure, I've never used DLSS. I know nothing about it. I don't know anything about how it works. 5651. So it's going to be hard for me to tell if it's working or not. I'm also compounded by the fact that I'm running a 4K monitor, which is very taxing on the aircraft. Or on my computer as a whole. And I run a 5080 CTAF. So I'm staying up real late tonight to do this. I'm way past my bedtime, but it's okay. We're going to fly this aircraft from Baltimore to CVG. Because there are none of these at CVG. Radios are set, nav set, fuel quantity 16,000 pounds is set. Flight altitude is 34,000 plus 1, so 35. FMC is set and checked. Flight directors. Auto throttle is armed. Airspeed set for V2, which is 145. Alright, and provisionally I'm going to set the runway heading, which is 280 something. We'll confirm that right now. So I'm hoping to see some big gains here, or some sort of like revelation that DLSS is revolutionizing X-Plane. I hope anyway. All right, let's load up the Foxhole 1 RNAV departure. All right, let's just go over the briefing right now. So we're departing on runway 28, and we're going to climb on heading 285, which is what I got in, to 644 the direct JLIN on track 295 to Wants, then on track 282 to cross Terps at or above 11, and then Foxhole at or above 17. Yeah, let's go ahead and set this altitude up to our final cruise, 3 to 4,000. Okay, heading, altitude, altimeters. Let's check these out. Altimeters. Okay, the weather at Baltimore. Winds are calm. We'll depart runway 28, and we're going to do a little back taxi here to expedite this mission. And the altimeter's 3052. Whoa! 3052. I don't think I've ever seen pressure that high before. 3052. Okay, altimeters. are set. Auto brakes, departure briefing, and APU will come on. And we'll call the tug.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Alright, so departure brief. I've already briefed the departure. But the taxi plan is going to be as follows. We're going to push onto the ramp here with the tail facing to the west. Taxi down Romeo 1. Right turn on runway basically 10. We're going to back taxi, high-speed taxi down.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
I'll make a right turn onto Victor and just do a 180, and we'll do a rolling takeoff on 28. The winds are calm away at 10,000 feet, more than enough runway for departure here. I've already run those numbers. Okay, before start pushback checklist. Engines are on. Doors and windows are closed. Yaw dampers on. Electric hydraulic pumps are on. Fuel pumps. Parking brake. Set. APU gens are waiting on those now. All right, so if anybody's familiar with this preset DLSS stuff, what am I supposed to be seeing here? Like, is it just panning or what? Because my frames aren't any better. I'm still getting what I would normally get at an airport like this, about 42, 40 at 4K. And just for reference, these are my graphics settings here. Remember, I'm running 4K, so I might even turn the render distance down a bit to see if that helps. Let's run that. Because when I'm streaming, I turn the render distance down pretty low because I don't really need to see that far, I guess. That makes sense. Probably could have done this some other time, huh? Oh well. Did I break my game? I hope not. I'm sure it didn't hurt anything. Yeah, I have smooth motion on. If you look at the NVIDIA app, I have smooth motion is on. So, I mean, I guess you tell me if it looks good to you. I don't know what it looks like on your end. It looks nice over here. Okay, let's get moving here.
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing.
Right about there.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Tow's connected, bypass pins inserted. Go ahead and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
Sure, I'll show the settings one more time. So these are my in-game settings right here. So high, ultra, SSAO is off, Arccast is at 80, anisotropic 8 by, MSAA 4 by. I have VSync on, clouds are at max, shadows are off, you don't really need those. World density, vegetation, and render distance are either minimal or low. Okay, APU gens, will chucks and age. Moved. Beacon lights on. Trim air's on. Bleeds are configured. We'll leave the ignition right. And that's not good. No flight detected, huh? Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna close Simbri, whatever it's called, Smart Cars, and we'll reload it so we can go. Let's try this again. Ah, that's better. Okay, we're ready. Let's roll. Okay, parking brakes released.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
Okay. Start 2. Rotation on 2. Okay, oil pressure's good. Fuel on. Fuel flow and EGT. Oil pressure lights out. Okay, cool. So there's weather textures available in the folder if you want to make it look okay. We'll take a look at that once we're airborne. Okay, roll back, and we got a good start on 2. Starting 1. Rotation on 1. Okay, oil pressure's good. Fuel on. I might use the weather textures honestly, because working on jets every day, ours look like garbage. They come out of depot painted, and within a year they look like they've been flying through hailstorms. Okay, oil pressure lights out. Starter valves closed, and roll back. We got a good starts on 1 and 2. At start checklist. It is cold tonight. -9. Alright. APU.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake.
Brake set.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Taxi checklist. Flaps up, takeoff, flaps 5. Trim is 5. Takeoff data, we got V1 140, rotate 141, V2 145. Takeoff thrust setting 87% in 1. Transponder TARA. Taxi lights, lower MFD. System, let's do flight control check real quick. Ailerons left, ailerons right, elevator up, elevator down, rudder left, rudder right. Alright.
And we're disconnected. Signaling pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Alright, see you on the right. Okay, I think we're about ready here. As soon as that guy's out of the way. Let me see if there's any traffic here at Baltimore, so I'm not talking to myself. Hello? Nope, I'm not gonna talk to myself. Alright, crew, let's roll. Brakes released. Okay, noticeable steering. Brakes. And flight controls checked. Yeah, I'm not really noticing any kind of difference at all, personally, but that doesn't mean that you won't. And that smooth motion stuff makes my ground shake like this, if you can see that. Actually, I think it looks worse. Alright, we're gonna back taxi down 2-8 here.
Approaching 1-0. On runway 10.
Thank you. VNav, LNav, I cast set, lights, Wixer.
2,000 feet remaining. One thousand remaining.
Our crew.
Approaching 2-8.
Go ahead and do this thing.
On runway 28.
Alright, so take off thrust. And one, Toga.
Knots.
Hold.
V1, rotate. Positive rate. Gear up.
Oh, nav. It has speed. And
1,000.
Speed check, +1. flaps up. Take off checklist, landing gears up, lights off, handle off. Flaps are up, auto brakes off, lights are set, start switches off. As in they're too loud? Yeah. So this version of the sound set, I feel is a big downgrade from the version 1. Version 1s were perfect, and I feel like these ones are much worse. Now we brought it up to the guy that made them. We said, hey man, we appreciate you adding a little more buzzsaw to these things, but it's way too much. It's just completely overwhelming. So I think he's acknowledged that they're a little too much. And I think he's working on tuning them down a bit because it's a lot. As we go higher up and as we go faster, that sound will dissipate, but it needs some tuning for sure. It's pretty awful. Not as good as it used to be, I'll tell you that. I will say this, look at this flight model though. This thing is flying like a champ tonight. Autopilot. A 307 climb speed. Normally by now, on a real 737, you would not be hearing this fan sound anymore. It would have, the air density and the altitude would have long since made that sound go away. Yeah, I still think V1 is a lot better. The exterior sounds are better. This buzzsaw's not as pronounced. You can hear more turbine sound. I don't like these. I wish I could take the V1 sounds and slap them on this thing. Honestly, I wish I could do that, but it's not really possible. No, yeah, so let me show you this. We brought this up to Wolf Air. He's the guy that makes the sounds. Where's it at? Right here. So we mentioned this to him, like, hey man, this thing's really bad. So if the fade out needs to be stronger, right? and he's using equivalent airspeed, but I think he needs to go back to true airspeed to manage the fade out of the buzzsaw back to just more of a turbine thrust, like airspeed sound. So it looks like he's gonna work on that, and he'll send us a clip whenever he gets around to it. It's been 9 days since we talked last. But it definitely appears that he acknowledges what we're saying here, which is good, because I don't like it. Alright, that is standard altimeter. We'll cross check that at 1.8. So you can hear we're up at flight level 180 now. True airspeed's almost 400, and the buzzsaw's finally starting to fade out. But this fade out should have been happening about 9 to 10,000 feet sooner, is what we're trying to tell the guy. So it's getting better. It's definitely not as loud as it was, but needs work. Let's see what our ETA is to Cincinnati. 0657 Zulu. About an hour from now, and the problem is we got kind of got some gnarly headwinds here. Not as bad as they have been, but still not ideal. in retrospect, I don't think I picked the best airport to test out this DLSS thing. Baltimore doesn't have a lot of ground clutter or anything really going on. But I don't know. I just... What is it? What does that even mean? Tweedle, if you're still here, is there any chance that this was some sort of placebo effect? Like, this doesn't actually work for X-Plane, but maybe you're just having a good day on your sim and you're equating it to that? I mean, I was always under the impression that X-Plane did not support this in any kind of way. I don't know. I don't know enough about this stuff to tell you one way or the other if it works or not. I just don't get it. Well, I'll tell you right now, I have the FPS counter up, and I'm seeing absolutely no change at all. Now, this is usually what I get when I'm streaming, because OBS robs a lot of frames away from me. When I turn OBS off, this thing goes up 10 to 15 frames, and the game is super smooth. Like, streaming is what really kills it for me. I wish I had a 5090, honestly, but... You know, at this point, I've already spent $1,500 on the 5080, and I don't really want to spend another extra $3,000 on a card for maybe 25% more performance. So I'm just gonna make this work. At the moment, I'm not seeing any sort of frame rate improvement. If anything, it seems lower than before. But again, I don't know. Alright crew, we're climbing pretty decent here. Unfortunately the headwind here is pretty severe. 110 knots right off the nose, so it's not so great. Well, I'll tell you, Cart, when I'm not on OBS, when I'm not streaming, this game is unbelievably smooth. It's the streaming that really taxes things for me. When I'm not streaming, X-Plane looks absolutely stunning. It looks great. I can max the settings out almost. I don't have any frame rate issues. It's super smooth. But the problem is that I'm the only one that gets to enjoy it then. 1,000 to go.
1,000 to go.
And that sucks. I want everybody to see what I see, right? When I'm flying, I want to share it with other people, but when I turn on OBS and when I stream, I'm losing 10 to 15 FPS, and I get a lot more stutters and like micro stutter stuff that I just don't get when I'm flying by myself. And it's no fun if you can't share it with somebody. That's kind of where I'm at. So I just have I want the FMC speed VNAV path. I want the game to be as smooth as it is for me offline as it is when I'm streaming, so you guys can see that, because it's an entirely different game. Alright, crew, we're cruising now. We just gotta have to suck this up for a bit. One thing I do want to do is get rid of these steam gauges. See if I can figure out how to do that. Nope, that ain't it. There we go, that's what I want, right there. Analog standby gauge is off. Yeah, I like that better. And possibly, yeah. So to do a scientific approach to this, I'd need to do same time, same airport, streaming and not streaming. See if there's any difference. And then from there, I would need to do it with the preset on and off. So my son was telling me, because he uses my computer every now and then, he says that my PAP3 autopilot panel is like a fidget spinner toy to him. This thing here, he loves pushing the buttons and moving the knobs and hitting the all the switches and stuff. I've always catch him in here flipping things and turning knobs, and I'm like, bro, get off my stuff. I don't say stuff, I use another word, but he's like, what? I just like to touch all the buttons. He said that was the best piece of equipment you bought so far was this thing, because I love to hit the switches and turn the knobs. Honestly, I have to agree with them. One of my favorite parts about flying the 737 now is being able to just work this autopilot panel. It's so cool. It's really remarkable how good that it is. Oh, I'll just settle in here. It's a little bumpy up here tonight. Typical high altitude X-Plane weather, but actually no, I take that back. It's really not that bumpy compared to what I've dealt with in the past. Minimal yoke movement. Auto throttle's not going too haywire here. Okay, and as soon as I say that, we have a 40-foot jump in the altimeter. Never mind. It's just X-Plane doing X-Plane things. Alright, we'll just sit tight. Let's see, top of descent's at 6:38 Zulu. So 33 minutes we'll be heading down. What's up, Phyllis? Say goodnight, Cart. Well, let's have to wait for a minute to get something from the galley here. Who's this? Oh, American Airlines, huh? Same type aircraft, 737-800. Going to Pittsburgh. Ugh. Who wants to go to Pittsburgh? Not me. 12 minutes until we head down. We'll do the brief in about 5 minutes. Okay. Let's go over this landing stuff. The weather at Cincinnati. Landing 18 center. This is the arrival. Okay. 37 minutes ago. Alright, wind 1909, 10 miles, clear -6, 3029. Alright, so basically real nice weather, wind more or less down the runway. The altimeter is 3029. Alright, so let's run some numbers here. Landing performance on 1.8. Okay, approach speed is 149, auto brakes 1. 11,000 feet available. Factor landing distance is 10,000 feet with this approach. Which kind of makes sense because what we're trying to do here we kind of want to roll out to the full length of this runway because we're going to be parking at the Amazon ramp, so I'll probably kick the auto brakes off pretty early and let it coast out down to the end, D2 or D1. Gavin 7, RNAV arrival. We got to cross JBiz at about 2.4, Gavin at or below 1.7, UD's at above 9. Key 2, 210 at above 8,000, and then we're going to be flying the RNAV approach into the airport. RVS 2400, decision altitude is 1389 because we're RNP 0.3. 3000 MSA. Alright, miss approach climb 3000, direct to JTAV, straight out and hold, more or less. And then we'll cross Nix Hall at 6,000, 6,000 there, 5,300 here, 4,000, 25, and at Wutu, 25. 3-degree glide path, and touchdown zone is at 875. Okay. Decision height is, again, is 1389. Okay, landing altitude 900 feet. Keep outside is not applicable. Alright. Ready to head down? be getting the ding here any second. There it is. Okay. Set altitude 10,000 for now. Make sure we don't blow through that speed, then we'll continue down from there. Retard. Wow, we are coming down like a... Woo! Look at this rate of descent. Why in the world? Like, why is it coming down so fast? Jeez. Okay, altimeters 3028. VNAV speed.
Altimeter setting.
Okay, FMC speed. Retard.
Thousand to go.
Okay, get the speed under control. Let's get the lights on. And there's Cincinnati out in the distance. Nice clear night. FMC speed, VNAV altitude. Okay. Down to 6. Current VNAV speed. VNAV path. Right, I'm gonna go speed +1. FMC speed. So we're basically gonna parallel the airport and fly like a downwind leg here. Altitude 25. Okay, we're landing on 18 center, which is right there. And again, we'll plan on a pretty long rollout here, so we don't have a long taxi, because we're going to be parking right over here, Amazon ramp. That's runway 27 there. I use that one a lot when I'm heading west. A lot of times I use this runway here. Alright, let's go speed 180. Left 5. Speed brakes armed. Heading down. Hey, we're the only landing traffic at Cincinnati tonight, so I'll forego the radio calls here. Altitude's 3,000. Alright, let's go speed 160. Gear down, flaps 15. FMC speed. Alright, final approach speed is 149. Laps 30. You set that reference speed. Oh, sorry. 30144. That's it. Alright guys, let's have a good landing tonight, huh? Autopilot's coming off. Auto throttle. Yeah, 228 at 30. It's much higher than the quoted winds. Bit of a crab angle here. $2,829. Little choppy. winds need to change quite a bit. Wind 210.27.
1,000 feet, stabilized, miss approach altitude set.
It's very windy.
Approaching
It wasn't
1A
in the
center.
Stabilized, miss approach altitude set.
You already said that. Okay, wind 215 and 22.
Minimums.
Continue.
500. 400.
Terrain.
Continue.
Hold up. Terrain.
It's a ghost. We're good.
300.
Okay, wind 209 and 15.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Manual braking. We'll take it all the way to the end.
$80 knots.
3,000 feet remaining. Two thousand remaining.
That wasn't too bad. On the brakes. Well, 46. I'll take it. Okay. After landing checklist. Spoiler handle. Already got it there. Flaps. Auto brakes are off. Radar is off. Landing lights. Strobes. Engine start. Clock. Step trim. Alright. APU. Little high over the threshold. And really long. Yeah, it was long. Barely stable. Not not a bad parking job, right? Well, thanks everybody for joining me tonight. It was a good flight. Thanks, Fox, for the awesome paint job. It's beautiful. It's nice to be able to fly cargo for the 737 again, so I really appreciate you for doing that. If you can add it to your very extensive list, I would love an Alaska Air Cargo for the 7 and the 800. If you can add it to your list. But you know you got a million other things to do, so put that very low on your list. But I'll be able to fly the 700 and the 800 at the Alaska Air Cargo paint job would be awesome when you can. But I posted a link to this in the video description, and we got it on the Discord server as well. So we'll make sure we get everybody out there, especially everybody over at UPS Virtual Air Cargo where I fly. That's what this flight was logged for. I'll make sure everybody knows to come and get it. So thank you again for that. And I'm gonna go to bed now because it's 11 o'clock and I gotta get up at 4:30 in the morning. So I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.